Hi, creative friends. This is Soraya, and thank you so much for being here. So I am going to bring this up closer. I was looking at it before I turned the camera on and deciding how I want to proceed. And I did mention this, I think, in my last video. I do want to add some oil pastels. Now, I am really loving the way this turned out. This was really scary for me to do at the beginning because it was the first one of the spreads in this particular book of Connie's where I was keeping so much of her work while still, inserting my voice, inserting my visual language, but I wanted to keep most of most 70% or so of her work. And I think that I did that. So all of this over here is Connie's. This over here is Connie's. This whole figure is Connie's. And I would say most of this is Connie's. I mean, half of this is Connie's. So I turned it into a figure and I put this red over here. I put this piece of collage over here. So I do feel like I did keep, most of the spread is Connie's, but it feels like it's also mine. And this, I feel, is a turning point for how I proceed working in this book, because even though I may not get all the lessons right now, I am going to benefit from everything I've learned doing this down the road. So anyways, I will stop talking so much. I'm gonna work on the face over here, and I think I want to add some oil pastels over here and maybe over here. I also I thought about adding some text over here, but I don't know. So I'm going to ask myself the question and just kind of try to work on the face a little bit. I was hoping that my Liquitex Burnt Sienna transparent ink would come in. I placed an order with Dick Blick, but it hasn't come in yet. So I guess I'm just going to have to work without it, which is kind of disappointing for me because I really wanted to add some of my burnt sienna ink, but that's okay. We're just gonna start where we are, use what we have, and see what happens. So I just want to suggest the features. Like, I don't want to get too kind of like fussy with it, just because it kind of has an abstract look already. Like, Connie sets the tone, so this, her face is very abstract, like this is abstract, like there's a lot of abstract qualities here, so I want to kind of stick with that. I don't want to, like, I don't want to get too like too detailed. And I think I'm going to keep her eyes open. I did think about keeping her eyes closed, but the eyes are closed there and over there. So I think over here, I'm going to have the eyes open. That face just does not look right. So I think I need to move the eyes up a bit. And I'm not terribly happy with her face, to be quite honest. It's looking kind of like weird to me. I don't know what's going on here, but that kind of happens to me, you guys, when I say, oh, I don't want to get too fussy with the face, and then I end up getting fussy with the face. I don't know what it is. It's just like, I think I'd be better off if I didn't say that. But as soon as I say that, I just start getting like really fussy with the face, but it's okay. Let me see here. That's off there. And let's just kind of go like so. So I'm just going to leave that like that. I'm not going to, you know, mess around with that. So I think what I'm going to do is, I did think about adding some text, like just writing on it, but I don't want to introduce another element here, because I just think it's gonna look kind of weird, because then I'd have to do, you know, repeat the text somewhere else. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use my oil pastels, and this is gonna be the last video of this series, you guys. So even if I do work on the face like after this dries, I'll just show it to you in another video, like on something else, because I don't have enough to make another video after this one for this series. Let me see here. So I'm gonna, because there's yellow there, but I don't want to add like too much yellow. And I'm kind of worried about covering up too much of Connie's work as well. So and go like that. And I want to add some over here, and I think I'm just going to, I'm gonna kind of add this blue here, but again, I don't want to get rid of too much of Connie's stuff. And I think what I'm gonna do, you guys, is I am going to, see this like orange over here that I added with the blue Stabilo? I'm gonna like, I think I'm just gonna like kind of mimic that a little bit. Maybe not everywhere, but just a little bit. I really love orange and blue. It just zings so much. I just love it. Okay. Now this over here is not really looking like me. I don't know. When Connie did it, it looked fine. And then when I added the orange, I'm not really liking it as much, but it's okay. The way I look at things when I work in a book like this, like working in this way, you guys, is that everything I learn, everything that happens, I look at it as a good thing. I look at it as something I can learn from. So I don't really look at it as like, I don't look at anything that happens as a mistake or it's negative or anything like that. I just look at it as it's a learning tool. And even if I don't get the lesson right away, I'm going to get the lesson at some point. And it's going to do is strengthen my visual language. It's going to, excuse me, strengthen my problem solving skills. And, you know, even though that does not look like me, and I really loved it over here, but I don't like it over there. I like the way it was when Connie just did it, just, you know, the shape. So I'm going to try to learn from that. Maybe not right away, but at some point, hopefully I'll get the lesson. So another thing I thought about doing is at some point, is just, because I'm working on this right now, where I am looking at all the spreads that I have completed, and I am trying to see what I have learned from it. So maybe at some point I will do a video where I like go through all of the spreads, and I'll say, oh, you know, this is what I learned from this, and I don't know, I'm thinking about it. That might be, I mean, I don't know. That might make a good video and it might not make a good video. I'm not sure. It might be a bit like tedious. I don't know. but I'm just gonna put this over here. So you guys, I am going to work on the face a little bit when this dries, but I'm not going to work on it too much actually. I'm just going to put the nose in, I think, because I want to leave everything kind of like just, you know, like very kind of, I don't want it too detailed. So I'll probably show it to you guys when I do another video on something else. But other than that, I think that this is done. I'm very pleased with it. I think it's a very good spread that combines both Connie's visual language and my visual language. And I feel like my visual language is getting stronger just by working in this book. So anyways, you guys, if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.